n'avez pas entendu parler du Facteur?
Les nouvelles du Facteur.
And welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Imagine the pandemonium at SoulCycle Studios across the Northeast this morning when Tony Fauci announced his retirement. Ugly doesn't begin to describe it. Picture the chaos, if you can, in the organic chaga aisle at Whole Foods in Brookline. Try to envision the panic and hysteria that must have broken out at espresso bars in Edgartown, in Aspen, in Santa Monica, and Bethesda, as thousands of masked ladies in Lululemon discovered all at once that the one religious leader they still revered, their own even tinier version of the Dalai Lama, had decided to retreat forever from public life. It was, ladies and gentlemen, the equivalent of a targeted nuclear device detonated over the most emotionally vulnerable elements of our most privileged population. You can picture the carnage, the wailing, the swooning, manicured hands clutched to breasts, then fumbling for Xanax in expensive handbags. Not since the Orange Man seized the White House in a Russian coup have more 46-year-old Cornell-educated lawyers with weak husbands wept shamelessly in public. There's not enough rosé in Napa to quell that pain. And it wasn't supposed to be this way. It never is supposed to be this way. Just a month ago, St. Tony suggested to his followers he'd be around another 2 years, at least, living at public expense as the highest paid federal employee till the end of Joe Biden's first, but hopefully not last term. And you know what that meant? It meant many more spreads in Teen Vogue, many more interviews on NPR, many more tips on masking. Is 3 enough? And of course, more vital guidance on how to celebrate the holidays. Which relatives should we ban from Thanksgiving this year? Dr. Fauci will know. Oh, but not anymore. That's all gone. He's sitting masked at Brian Stelter's house, watching Chris Hayes tonight. Because this morning, Tony Fauci announced his abdication. Quote, "I will be leaving these positions," there was always more than one, "I'll be leaving these positions in December of this year to pursue my next chapter of my career," he said. The next chapter of his career? He's only 81. Some of us had hoped he'd be around another 40 years. But he's leaving so soon, too soon. Why? What's going on here? You hate to think politics could affect Tony Fauci's judgment as a scientist. They never have before. But is it possible this thoroughly nonpartisan man of medicine has thought about what might happen in November when the Republican Congress takes over? Does he believe that could be bad news for him? Well, yes, it is possible he believes that. Because on some level, even Tony Fauci knows that Tony Fauci is in fact a dangerous fraud. A man who has done things that in most countries, at most times in history, would be understood perfectly clearly to be very serious crimes. So it's possible that Tony Fauci might want to resign before he has to explain all of that to a new Congress. He might want to get out of town now and move to, say, Cambridge. Find a safe place to hide before the reckoning.
Vous n'avez pas entendu parler du Facteur?
Les nouvelles du Facteur.